are dealing with the pointer. Okay, in this, whenever you have declare any pointer variable like this one, I told you that this declaration tells three things to the compiler. What are those three things? The first thing is that this asterisk tells that this p is your pointer variable. Second, pointer variable also needs some kind of a memory location where it will get stored. Third, this pointer variable is pointing to the, or we can say the pointer variable points to the variable of type data type like this one. So pointer variable p is going to point to the type of data type is integer. So likewise we discussed something like if I am writing name, value, or we can say the contents or address. I have declared two things in or in the previous lecture. We discussed this. Just a minute, I'll write. Okay, whenever I'm writing this, yes, the value integer a I want to write over here. Integer a is equal to 5. Okay, and next one is your pointer p. P is equal to pointing to and a. So these lines are important. Yes, this is the thing. Okay, I have to write over here name of variable is a, the value of variable is 5, and we are assuming that it is getting stored at some location, that is 1000. Next, another variable we have declared, the variable name is p. The value of your variable p is the address of a. So this is 1000 over here, and I told you that when you declare a pointer variable, this variable also require some kind of a memory location. So let's assume that it is getting stored at some location 2000. See this 1000, 2000, these are not actual memory location where your variables are getting stored. We don't know where exactly the location of those variables. For our understanding purpose, we are writing this as a 1000 and 2000, so that address can be anything, meaning that as I told you, pointer is a variable that pointing to the uh, address of some another variable. So for that purpose, the value of this p becomes, the value of this is nothing but address of a, right? So that we discussed in the previous lecture. Okay, with the help of this also we have done one program, uh, addition of two numbers using pointer. So we have written like this, if you remember, look at this. We have asked user to enter two values. We discussed this integer a comma. I'm not writing a complete program as we have already discussed it. I'm simply providing you the revision whatever we have discussed. Integer pointer p, integer pointer q. We have written two lines, p is equal to and a, and next q is equal to and b. We have written like this, c is equal to asterisk, c is equal to, we have written asterisk p plus asterisk q, nothing but c is equal to pointer p plus pointer q. I told you that the line becomes like this. I told you star is equal to value at. Okay, we have written. So this is nothing but c is equal to address at a plus address of b. This line is nothing but this line, meaning we are supposed to finding out simply what we have done. P is simply replaced by this line, q is simply replaced by this line, and asterisk symbols are remain as it is, simply like this. Okay, so what is the line here now? Value at address of a, value at address of b. you are asking user to enter two values of A and B. So whatever the values are present at the location of this, that is value at address of A and value at address of B, like this, value at 1000 and value at 2000, your system will consider these two contents. These two contents will get added plus, and it will get stored into C, and you will be printing the value of C, right? So printf percentage %d and C you are printing, you will get the value, right? That we discussed in the previous lecture about what is pointer, what are these two values, what are these two symbols, star, or you can say asterisk, and address of operator. One program with the help of addition, with the help of pointer you can perform addition as well. We discussed your memory is getting divided into equal parts. Each part is called as a memory cell. Each memory cell is responsible for storing one content, and each memory cell is associated with one address, right? So whatever the variable you declare of any data type or of any pointer, so all will get allocated in memory cell, and each one will have their own address. Okay, that we discuss. As I told you, first we'll discuss the revision, whatever we discussed in the previous lecture. Now I'll stop this share and I'll move to PowerPoint. Just a minute. Okay, before pointer, we have discussed about functions, right? So currently, whatever we are discussing, it is a combination of function as well as pointer. I hope my screen is visible. Someone unmute yourself and tell me whether PPT is visible or not.
Visible, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Today's point is calling the functions with the help of call by value and with the help of call by reference. So these are two actually the type where you can say that I am passing some values and arguments to the function. Either it is a normal variable and or it is a pointer variable. So the first category is called by value. In previous whatever four types of a function we discussed, those four types are falling under the category of your call by value. And if I am sending some pointer variable as a parameter to that function, this will falling under the category of call by reference. Now the points have been written over here. What is the meaning of call by value and call by reference? I simply read it out just now. So copy of arguments, first call by value, copy of arguments passed to the function. It will change in function but do not affect the original. You have to use it when the function does not need actually spelling mistake. When function does not need to modify the argument, you can use your call by value. Second is call by reference. Passes the original argument, it will change the function which affect the original argument, and it is only used with the trusted functions. In the sense, whatever the user defined function apart from void main you are declaring in your program, you can use these two types. One is call by value and second one is call by reference for performing this. Now to demonstrate these two part, call by value and call by function, call by reference, we are using a single common program called as a swap function. We are using swapping to exchange the variables, to exchange the values of the variables. Means if suppose A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 20, we want to change the values. A is equal to 20 and B is equal to 10. The same thing we are performing with the help of normal function and with the help of pointer. So swapping is the usual example available for any book or anywhere when you want to demonstrate. the call by value and call by reference. Okay, so let's see the first one. I told you the two different parameter or types called as the actual argument and the formal argument. So anyone please tell me what is actual argument? Someone give the difference between actual arguments and formal arguments. Unmute yourself. A division student will tell actual argument meaning and B division student will tell formal argument meaning. Come on, fast, unmute. Yes, unmute yourself. You are speaking, I guess, with the without unmuting. Yes, roll number A11. A11, unmute yourself.
Actual argument means the value that are passed to the called function from the main function.
Okay. Next one.
And formal argument means the variable declared in the function prototype.
Okay, that function is your user defined function, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Mute yourself. Right. So over here, call by value is, first we'll see call by value. Read it carefully. Look at the slide. In this method, the value of each actual parameter in the calling function is copied into the formal arguments of the call function. In the sense, we discussed the example of void main and void add. Your actual parameters are the parameters from the calling function, that is nothing but main, which is temporarily going to get copied into formal arguments of the called function. Called function is your void add. So if I am passing a b from main, you are copying it temporarily into x y of void add. Okay, so the calling function arguments are getting copied into corresponding formal parameters. Corresponding is important because the type and sequence of actual parameter in the main has to be matched with the type and sequence of the formal parameters, whatever you are declaring in function prototyping, function declaration, and function initialization. Okay, so this corresponding word is important. So what will happen? Whatever the changes you are being made to the formal arguments in the call function have no effect on the values of actual argument in the calling function. Meaning, whatever the things you are doing with the formal arguments, that is your user defined function, this is not going to affect the original value of your actual argument, but the changes are going to get reflected in the formal arguments itself. So how exactly the justification of all the lines given over here is with one program. Okay, I hope this program is visible to you. Someone unmute and tell me this program is visible.
Visible, ma'am.
Okay, so the program is to show call by value. As we know, hash include your normal header files. Next, void swap is a user defined function. Can someone unmute yourself and tell me what is the type of this? We had 4 types of a function, like argument, no written value argument, so on. Which type it is? Void swap, int x, int y.
Function with a return value and with arguments.
Type 4 function. Function
Type
with
4.
return value and return argument.
No, it's wrong.
With argument without return value.
Correct. The function which takes the argument but does not return value. Look at carefully.
The argument but does not return value.
Correct. because void is written, void returns you nothing. It is swap, a void swap in bracket two parameters or two arguments you have passed, x and y, right? So it is type program, the function which takes the argument but no return value. Okay, so this is called as your function prototyping. Next, we know that our program starts running one after another, line by line. So void main, curly bracket open. We have two variables, integer a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20. See this line. This is swap in bracket a and b. This is called as a function calling. Void main is calling the function swap by sending the parameter a and b. So what is this over here? Swap in bracket 10 comma 20, right? So by this line swap, it will jump to where exactly the function definition is written. That is void swap integer x comma integer y, curly bracket open, some lines and close. This is nothing but function definition of void swap, right? So what will happen? Your void main will left the control from its own function to where exactly the definition of void swap is written, this function. Okay, what will happen now? The value of a, that is 10, is going to get stored into integer x as you have passed it, comma b. B is nothing but 20. 20 will get temporarily stored into integer y. Okay, so what will happen? Void swap 10 comma 20. So curly bracket open, integer t is written. So I told you the one more thing, like scope of the variable. The scope of the variable is limited to where you have declared. So a and b are unknown to void swap, and integer x, y, z, t, sorry, integer x, y and t, these are unknown to void main. Okay, so scope of those variables are limited to the curly bracket open and close where they have declared. So now where were we? Yeah, swap 10 20, integer x is equal to 10, integer y is equal to 20, integer t is stored. Okay, what I'll do now, just I'll share the screen, just a minute, for better understanding what I'll do. Just a minute. Okay, I have opened Notepad over here. Just see it is visible or not. Is it visible? Notepad.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Now what will happen over here in this program? I simply copied it. So in this line over here, this line becomes 10, 20. Okay, it will jump to this location, void swap. Okay, now this will become, in this line, it will become like void swap in bracket uh, 10 comma 20, in the sense your value temporarily x is equal to 10 and temporarily y is equal to 20. Okay, now next, this integer t is a temporary variable written over here. So t is equal to x, in the sense you are copying value of x into the t. So it is always from right hand side to left hand side, from x to t. Okay, so what is the value of x? Oh, x is over here 10. Then this line, your value of y is getting copied into the x. So x is equal to 20. Next, your value of t, which is 10, is going to get copied into the y. So your y is equal to what is the value of t is 10. Okay, so what will happen now? X is initially x was 10 due to the original program, and y is 20. You are using third variable for swapping the contents. So x become 20, y become 20. What will happen over here? The output of your program will be it is in this function. So unless and until the curly bracket closure of curly bracket occurs, the all statements will go on. So the output of your program will be first print line, printf wale line. So it is your x is equal to 20 space y is equal to 10. Okay, this is your line of output. Next curly bracket closure has happened, so it will go back to the location from where in the main it has left its control. So by this line, all the things have done from beginning, like those are. So from this line, it was shifted to this area. Now it will come back again, and whatever the remaining statements are there into your void main are going to get executed. So immediately after this function calling, you got this line. So your output of a program is a is equal to original 10 and b is equal to 20. Now see this, what has happened. You have simply called this function a and b, and x and y hold it temporarily, and the values of x and y are getting interchanged, not of a and b, because a and b are the variables which are declared in the void main itself. You cannot, and these a and b are absolutely unknown to swap function, this, and x and y are absolutely unknown to the void main. So what is happening simply over here, swap function will do its own work of performing swapping by temporarily holding the values of x and y by a and b 10, 20. Next printf line will occur, percentage d a and b. So whatever the values of a and b are there, that will get printed, like a is equal to 10, b is equal to 10, 20. So look at it, this program, your void main is not swapping the values of a and b, but your void swap is swapping the values of x and y, not of a and b. The value of a and b will remain intact with the void main function, which is declared inside the scope of this void main, curly bracket open and curly bracket close. Simply this middle line, that is swap a and b, will perform this task, that is function definition. There is nothing happened with your printf percentage d a and percentage d b, right? So all the original value of a and b is going to get printed. You have simply replaced or swapped the values of x and y. This, whatever this program is there, this program is called as a call by value. Okay, call by value. We discussed the definition of this. The definition of call by value was what it told previously. The value of each actual parameter in the calling function is copied to the corresponding formal parameter, and whatever the changes you have made into the formal argument, okay, just a minute, instead of reading this, I'll do that. I'll open it. Okay, just look at this. Yeah, look at this, what we discussed in call by value. In this method, the value of each of the actual parameter in the calling function, actual parameter a, b, are copied corresponding to the formal parameter x, y. So the changes made to the formal argument, that is x, y, in the called function, that is swap, have no effect on the values of actual arguments in the calling function. So this line is important. Whatever you did with the formal arguments, that is called as a call by value, right? Such kind of a program or such kind of a things we discuss or we done whenever we had a revision of 4 types of a function. Okay, so now what? Why the use of this and what is the difference between call by value and call by reference? In this case, as we found out that you cannot change actual arguments and its values, but if you want to do so directly from accessing the memory location, you can able to directly change the value of actual arguments through the second type called as a call by reference. Okay, so I hope you are getting what is this. Any doubt? Someone, if someone has any doubt, you can ask me, or if it is clear, let me know. We'll move to next. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So what I'll do, I'll move to the next point, that is call by reference. Just a minute. Yeah, I have again open PPT. Just look at it. The definition of call by reference is written. The slide is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. A call by reference, the definition is, in this method, the address of actual parameters in the calling function are copied into formal parameters of called function, normal method. Address of, see, in the previous type, what we had written, the value of actual parameter are copied into formal parameter. But here, if you observe the change, here we are saying that address of actual parameters in the calling function are copied into formal parameters of the called function. So whatever the changes are you are making into the formal parameters are going to directly affect the memory locations of actual argument, so that it can be the permanent change. Okay, read it carefully. The address of actual parameters in the calling function are copied into formal parameters of called function. So whatever the changes you are doing in the formal argument, they are effective to the memory locations of actual argument, and it will be permanent. If you observe that, or if you have taken a screenshot of call by value and call by reference definition, in previous one they are saying that there will be no effect of changing of formal argument with the actual argument, but here we can say that the changes are permanent and they are directly affecting the actual arguments. So the same program of swap I written over here. So look at the line, void swap, pointer, integer pointer and integer pointer. These two are the pointer variable you are passing as an argument to the void swap. This is your function prototyping. Next, void main is there. Two values we have already declared, integer a, b, 10, 20. In previous swap, and a was there, and simply a and b were there, but according to the definition we are passing address of actual variable to the function, that is swap function. So address of a and address of b we have passed over here, and we are passing it to the swap function. Integer pointer x and pointer y, these are the formal arguments which are going to hold the addresses of your actual argument. That is nothing but pointer x is equal to and a, and pointer y is equal to and b. We have declared a simple third variable integer t, which will hold the value pointer x is equal to pointer y, and y is equal to t. Now I'll take it in a notepad so you will understand what is the difference. Okay, just a minute. Okay, whether my screen is visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Visible? Okay. Now see this. The difference will find out immediately by this. Now in this, here we have passed pointer. Here pointer are there, integer pointer. 10 and 20 are there. Here you are passing the variable or address like 1000 or 2000. Let's say for example A address is 1000 and B address is 2000. So in this what will happen, this line is becoming now just a minute, like swap in bracket 1000 comma 2000. What we have done, we have passed the address of A and B to the swap function. Okay, now from this location it will jump to the location where the swap and its definition is written like this. Okay, now in this what will happen, your swap, that is better I'll write below, this is like void swap in bracket, you will have pointer x is equal to 1000 comma pointer y is equal to 2000. Okay, this become your new line whenever you have or your program jumped from swap this line to this line. Okay, now similarly I can say like this, in previous example like we discussed, this was like this, x pointer x is equal to and a, and y is equal to and b. That was the line. So what is the meaning of this x? X is equal to and a. So again what will happen over here, I value at what we did, this x is simply replaced by and a. Okay, pointer remains as it. So what is the meaning? Value at address of a. What is the value at address of a? That is 10. Similarly same thing has happened, value at address of b. What is the value? That is 20. Okay, see this y is simply replaced by and b. Why this is so? Because of this. Okay, because of this and a comma and b, that is nothing but x and y. Okay, so this line is going to happen, value at address a is equal to 10, value at address b is equal to 20. Okay, I hope this is clear now. Now integer t is declared, so what will happen, t is equal to x. What is x? X is nothing but and a, right? So this is going to happen over here, t is equal to value at address of a, which is nothing but 10. Okay, so the meaning is t is going to hold the value 10. Okay, next line, what will happen? This is like this, value at address of A is equal to value at address of B. Okay, this line. I'll make one piece over here to understand it better. So what is this? T is equal to and A. I hope you got it. Next line, X is getting replaced by and A and Y is getting replaced by and B. So value at and A is equal to value at and B. What we have done, value of Y, we are copying it into the X. So what is happening over here? What is Y value is this line. This line will happen. So this is now pointer X is becoming 20. Okay. Now here this line's indication is value at and B. We are storing the value of T. T's value is getting stored into and B. So what was the T's value? T value was 10 over here. Okay, so in this diagram, this will happen. In this line, this will happen. Asterisk Y is equal to value of T. What was the value of T? This was a 10. So 10 will happen. Am I right? Now this task has been done by your void swap function. Okay, void swap function is going to do this. So what is the meaning now? From this location, it will jump to the location from where it has stored its it has left its own control, right? So what will happen over here? Now again it will go back in this location or in this thing. What we have done, we have changed the values at the address. I told you that this line is similar to this line. Okay, this line is similar to this line, meaning whatever the value at address of A is there is now 20. Okay, I told you this line is similar to this line, that is this is value at Y is nothing but address of B. Okay, so whatever the value of present at the address of B is stored into this. So what we did over here, value of this will become 20, this wala line, and value of B is nothing but internally this has happened. This is nothing but your Y is equal to 10. Okay, so according to this, when the output of this program comes, the output will look like A is equal to 20 and B is equal to 10, right? So same thing, what I want to do, I just want to show you the same thing one more time. Wait a minute. Okay, in previous lecture, I told you about virtual labs, right? So in virtual labs, you are supposed to go to the same thing. Okay, I'll show you the same swap program with the help of virtual lab, where the description will occur whatever just I have discussed. Just 1 minute, I'll open that. Okay, stop sharing. See, in previous lecture, I shown one demo of pointer in a virtual lab. So I know you better how to look at virtual lab. What are the 4 sections you are supposed to see? Okay, so check that whether my screen is visible. Tell me, screen is visible or not?
Visible.
Okay, this is virtual lab for pointer. For code of swapping, same thing. Simply the variable names or variable values and names got changed. Look at this over here. I told you 4 sections you have to look at one time. One is program code. Second section is your memory map. Next one is your explanation, and last one is your code output. Okay, so for that, same program is there. Simply A and B. Look at over here. A is equal to 5, B is equal to 9. Value of A and B is printed. Swap, we have sent the address of A and B. Then next line, so value of A and B after swapping is this one. Okay, so just a minute. I'll start it. Okay, as the highlighting part explains you about what are the current sequence of execution of your code. So header file is highlighted. Next, void main is highlighted. Next, integer A is equal to 5, B is equal to 9. Look at the memory map over here. So variable name A and B are getting declared, and A is having the value 5. It will get allocated at address 60. B is having 9. It will get allocated at 56. Okay, so look at over here in the explanation, variable A and B are declared as a type integer with the value 5 and 9 respectively, with the address 60 and 56. Okay, next, printf value of A is percentage %d. The value of A is stored as a 5, which is displayed as the output. Look at the fourth section. Value of A is equal to 5 in code output. Okay. Next line, value of B is percentage %db. 9 is was the value. So again, same value will get printed. Next. Now look at here. Swap address of A and address of B. Look at the explanation. The swap function is called and address of A and B are passed as argument. What are the addresses? Address number 60, address number 56. Okay. Next. So as we know, the control has jumped from this location to this location, void swap. So pointer PA is the variable name and pointer PB is the variable name for holding the value of address A and address B. Okay, with this line, you can see in the memory map, PA and PB are the variables created at some memory location 40 and 36. Okay, they are having its own value. As we know, pointer variable holds the address of another variable. So pointer PA is holding address which is this 60, that will become contains of your A. PB holds the address of B, that is 56, that becomes the content of this variable PB. So look at the explanation. Function is called local integer type pointer variables P and PB are getting assigned with the address of A and B. Okay, I hope you are getting up to now. Next, temporary. So a local integer type temp is declared and the value at address of PA is assigned, that is A's value is stored in temp. So look at the memory map. Temp is holding value 5. Okay, look at this only, this part. Temp is holding value 5. What is the meaning of this? Integer pointer PA is nothing but the declaration is explanation is written over here. Value at address of A is getting stored into temporary. So value at address A, that is 60. Whatever the value was there at the 60 is getting stored into temp. Next line. Pointer PA is equal to pointer PB. Value at PA is changed to the value at PB, that is B's value is now available in the A. Okay, so it will get changed. Next, pointer PB is equal to temp. Value at address PB is changed to the value at temp, that is temp value which is going to get stored into the B, temp value as 5. Okay, next curly bracket close. Next, it will jump to the location from where it has left its control. So now you can look at the memory map. Okay, over here you can see in the memory map, A was created at 60, B was created at 56. With the help of addresses, you have exchanged the value. Initially it was 5 and 9, now it was 9 and 5. So value of A after swapping, is 9. Next, value B after swapping is 5. Initially it was in these two lines, value of A and B was 5 and 9. Now value of A and B after swapping is your 9 and 5. Okay, so look at this memory map. The new value for variable B is 5, which is displayed as the output. Okay, now are you getting what is the difference between call by value and call by reference? Simplest in one line, in call by value you cannot change the actual parameter, but in call by reference via memory addresses directly you can put new values into that addresses, so and so ultimately the variable can access the new value, right? That is the difference between call by value and call by reference. Okay, so I'll stop this. Okay, getting in this virtual lab whatever current simulation I have shown to you. Any doubt over here? I hope the things now clear to you. Any doubt here? Yes, no. So I'll again open PPT. Just a minute. Okay, my PPT is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now again coming back to the definition of call by reference. Now you can observe that in this method, address of actual parameter in the calling function, that is void main, are copied into the formal parameters of called function, that is swap, and the formal parameters are pointer x and pointer y. So whatever the changes are done in the formal parameters, they are effectively at memory locations of the actual parameters or arguments. So it will be the permanent change. Permanent change in the sense just now we discussed the value of A and B are getting exchanged, and they have done with the swapping part. Initially it was 10, 20. Okay, I moved the, okay, coming back to our program scene. Call by reference, yeah, sorry. So call by reference, this line and this diagram, this program, just now we discussed this. So your single output of your program is A is equal to 20 and B is equal to 10. Values of A and B are exchanged and using their addresses which are stored in X and Y. Okay, so the permanent change has happened. So what I do, you just take a snapshot or write it down of definition or the meaning of call by value. Take a snapshot of this slide. Okay, over. Next, take a snapshot of this example as well. Yes. Next. snapshot of this definition of call by reference. Then, okay, last, take the snapshot as well, which is showing the example of call by reference. Okay, now I'll stop this sharing. Just a minute. Any screen is visible to you? No, na? Okay. So for your homework purpose, I'll write one problem statement. Okay, whether screen is visible now? Yes.
Visible, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You have to okay. We know how to find out even and odd. What is the formula? Variable mod 2 is equal to 0. Then we are saying this is your even number. Otherwise, else it is odd. Same thing you are supposed to perform using pointers. Okay, take the reference of our original program of that C is equal to pointer P plus pointer Q. We have done addition with the help of pointer. Similarly, you are supposed to perform this one. Okay, I forgot to mention using pointers and functions. Okay. You are supposed to write one program with one function. Let's say the name of function is like swap. What I can write, find even or odd. Okay, this is your function name. You have to write this function. Okay, in this function this code should be there. If mod 2 it is even, else it is odd, and you are calling this function from main, and you have to use functions as well as pointers. Okay, this is for your homework, for your own understanding and solving purpose. I told you to take a snapshot of both programs. I told you how to refer a virtual lab. Okay, this is not your practical. Don't upload this anywhere, any Google form, Google sheet. Don't upload this anything. This is just for your homework purpose, to get understand whether you are familiar with pointer concepts and whether you can able to write any program that is simple program or that is your pointer program. So in both types, so what you do, I'll add more into it. Same thing you do by call by value, and same thing you do by call by reference. Your both choices. Okay, getting my point? Any doubt in this? This is your homework. You are not supposed to send me anything, nothing. This is just for your task. जे काय 2-3 लेक्चर शिकवलंय त्याच्यामध्ये आपल्याला काय कळलंय, you just cross check it with your own. If by taking the reference of PPT snapshots, by taking the reference of your virtual labs and all. Okay, so make it by call by value and call by reference as well. Write a program to perform, write a program not to perform, write a program to find out the number is even or odd, to find whether, I'll write correct, just a minute, the number is even using pointers and function. Yeah, this is the correct statement. Write a program to find whether the given number is even or odd using pointers and functions. You can use call by value and call by reference, both. Okay, this is just for your homework, not a practical. Any doubt in this? If not, so shall I stop? It's 12:30.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll stop sharing. Thank you. I'll leave the meeting. Okay, thank you.